Hello and welcome back to Murphy Family Kitchen. I'm Jim Murphy and today we're talking about low carb side dishes or a comfort food. I've yet to meet anybody that doesn't really like macaroni and cheese, but when you're on a low carb diet, macaroni is kind of a big no-no for you. So you've probably seen before where some folks do it using cauliflower, and we're going to do that here today. Cauliflower is really versatile. It's good for you, it's low carb, and it really adapts to whatever flavors you put with it very nicely, very easily. So we're going to work with that today. We're going to cut this cauliflower up into bite-sized pieces, just small little florets to look a little bit like the macaroni that we'll be missing out of this dish. I also have 2 cups of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of butter. I have 3 cups of shredded cheese. A lot of times you use cheddar in this, but I like this mild cheese. This is a Fontina and Swiss blend that I find at the store, and so I really like the flavor of that. We're going to use that instead. I have 4 ounces of cream cheese, and then I have half a teaspoon of Creole Seasoning that we're going to put in the mix just to give it a little bit of a bite, a little bit more flavor. And then once we have it all combined, we're going to put it in a baking dish. We're going to cover the top with some pork rind panko, or ground up pork rinds, which I've ground myself, and then sprinkle some bacon bits over the top of that. So I have a half a cup of the pork rind panko, and then I've got half a cup of bacon bits. The bacon that I use is the bacon that I make. I will put a link up top for you to see how I do that in case you're interested, but you can use any type of bacon bits that you want. You can either fry your own bacon and cut it up, or you can use the bag of bacon bits as you get it from the store. So with all that said, I'm going to get started. I'm going to start to chop up the cauliflower, and we're going to get that boiling, and then we'll work on our cheese mixture. Okay, so I have my cauliflower now in a pot and boiling, waiting to boil. A little bit of salted water, and we'll let that do its thing. We just want to get it till it's fork tender, but not soggy, just enough that we can have some kind of al dente, just a little bit of texture to it. And so while that's working, we're going to make our cheese sauce. And so we're going to start out by heating up our heavy cream and our butter. And we're going to put our butter in here. We're going to let that melt and come together. And then we'll begin adding our cheeses in just a minute. So you want to do this over a medium heat, not too hot that it scalds the cream, but warm enough so that it melts the cheese easily. Looks like the butter is pretty well melted now, so we're going to add our cream cheese in and let that begin to soften and melt into the mixture. And once we have the cream cheese melted in, butter is all melted, we're starting to get a little bit of bubbling around the sides here, so it's nice and warm. We're going to begin adding in our cheese, shredded cheese, and getting that to melt. You don't want to necessarily dump it all in at one time, but we do want to take advantage of that heat while we have it here. Turn down a little bit so that we don't melt, we don't burn, and just begin adding the cheese mixture. Get it all well combined. Well, once we have all this cheese in here, this should thicken up for us quite a bit. Again, this was 3 cups of your favorite shredded cheese, whether you use cheddar or some other flavor. It'll all work out well for you. That looks really nice. Now I'm going to put my Creole seasoning in here and get that incorporated. And that's just going to give us a nice flavor in addition to the cheese. We want to get that mixed up really well. It'll be very faint. It's not very strong. It was just a little bit. And a little bit of salt and pepper. Get that all incorporated very nicely. And we're going to turn this heat off. It'll stay warm for a little while. The cauliflower is not quite finished yet, but it will be in just a few minutes. And when it is, we are going to combine the cauliflower after we drain it. Combine the cauliflower with the cheese mix, put it in a baking dish, and then we'll get it baked up for a few minutes. Okay, so I've got the cauliflower done now. It's just fork tender, still very al dente. It's gonna bake a little bit, so I don't want it to get mushy. So I took it out just before it's really done. And so I drained it, put it in my mixing bowl. Now I'm going to mix in the cheese mixture that we made and get that well combined. Get that all in there. And then just mix it all together, get it good and coated all the way through. And then we're going to put it into our baking dish. And so we'll just pour that straight in there. That's the perfect amount. And get it distributed as evenly as you can, just for no reason other than aesthetics, I guess. And then we're going to sprinkle our panko on it, our pork rind panko, just to give it a little bit of a crust, just like you would on any baked macaroni and cheese. Just not necessarily a full coating all over. You can put as much or as little as you like, but this gives it a little bit of texture and a little bit of a crust on the top. And then I'm going to add in my bacon bits. And so just going to spread those around the top. Again, this just is going to add some additional flavoring to it. Bacon is one of my favorite things. I love to make my own. I've been doing that for several years now. And it's delicious. I don't even care for bacon out when you go out to eat anymore. It's not the same to me. So that's it. We've got this ready to go. My oven is preheated to 350. I'm going to stick this in the oven for about 20 minutes and we'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, here's our finished product. I put it in the oven thinking it was going to take 20 minutes. I actually added 10 minutes to that. I took a look at it at 20 minutes. It just needed a little bit more time. So I left it in for another 10 minutes. So 30 minutes on this. I had it on the top rack. That may be the reason for that today. Maybe put it on the lower rack or go ahead and just watch it. If it needs a few extra minutes, go ahead and put it on. No harm, no foul. So anyway, we're going to take a look here and see what we look like on the inside. We're going to get a little scoop. Make sure we get some of that bacon on here. Get a little bit in a bowl. And we're going to give it a little bit of salt and pepper just for taste. All right, we're going to give this a little taste now. We got a little piece of bacon to go with it. That is really, really good. I really like this cheese blend. Like I said, it's a Fontina and Swiss blend. You get that at Costco. Works out really well for many, many dishes. It is really, really nice flavor in this dish. Very, very good. I hope that you'll try this and that you'll enjoy it. If this was helpful to you, I ask you to hit the like button for me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. That helps me out a lot, and then that will get you notifications when I have something new out there. You can also check out my website and my Facebook page. All of those links will be down below, including the recipe for this and some links to some of the items that I use while I'm cooking in case you're interested in that. So thank you again for being here. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thanks. Bye.